Welcome, everybody. This is Suzanne, and I'm so glad that you came to learn about our wonderful wine cruise with Los Milics Winery and AmaWaterways. So, without further ado, I'm going to start sharing our screen and we will go into our presentation. All right, here we go. Well, welcome, everybody. I'm Suzanne Clausen, and my husband, Steve, and I own CruiseOne in Sholo, Arizona. We want to welcome two special guests, and they can just wave or say hello. If you go off mute a little bit, we have David Bauer from Los Milics Vineyards and Diane Horan. She is our National Accounts Development Manager for CruiseOne and Dream Vacation. So welcome to both of you. We'll be hearing from them both in a little bit. So thank you so much for joining us. Well, Steve and I are your travel experts. If you're new to our agency, maybe found us through the internet or were referred by a friend, I want you to get to know me. I want you to feel comfortable booking with me. I'm happy to do phone consultations. I build strong relationships with many, many repeat clients and referrals. Clients are never just a transaction. People who I consider some of my closest friends are clients who I've cruised with or gotten to know through my business. Steve and I are both ourselves avid travelers. We go on cruise ships all the time now. And the good part about that is we take that experience that we have and we can use that to personalize our clients' own vacation plans. So here's a little timeline about my business. We are in our 11th year. We are coming up on our 12th anniversary this summer. In 2019, I received the Opal Award from our franchise organization for both my community involvement and sales leadership. In 2020 and 2021, I had a little downtime, can't imagine why, and I used that time to earn my Master Cruise Counselor certification. And in 2023, I added to that and got my Elite Cruise Counselor certification. And our franchise is ranked in the top 2% of all the CruiseOne and Dream Vacations franchises. And I believe now, this slide's a little old, it's over 2,000 franchises that we have.
I updated it.
I have been cruising for 48 years. Yes, that is me in the plaid bell bottoms with the brown hair looking like Donny Osmond. That was my very first cruise. I've been on 61 cruises. I've been to all 7 continents and I visited over 70 countries and counting. And that's important because I feel like it's important for a travel agent to travel because you gain so much by that experience. You can only learn so much from a book or a video. So now I'm going to turn our presentation over to the wonderful Diane, and she is going to share with us the Gems of Southeast Europe itinerary that we are doing for this Los Milics wine cruise hosted by David Bauer. So
Thank you.
Take it away, Diane.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to. And thank you all for joining us. For those joining us live, good evening. I do have my glass of wine. So can you see it there? If I get thirsty, I'll be taking a sip. And I hope you all feel that you can do the same. But I am really happy that Suzanne and Steve invited me to talk about this particular itinerary because it's one of my personal favorite itineraries there is. And the sailing you're doing is in November, and I actually think that's the perfect time to go down this part of the Danube. It will be beautiful. Some of the sides of the rivers, you might see the changing of the leaves. It's just a beautiful time of year to cruise, less crowded, much cooler because it can get very hot down there. So just a perfect time. So this is just a slide showing you your ship. This is the ship that we're going to be using, the AmaMagna. It is our flagship. It is our premier ship of our entire fleet. I am very privileged because I started working for Ama almost 17 years ago now, and we've just been in business 21 years. So in other words, when I started, we had 2 ships. Now we have 29. But this ship is our largest, and it's our most beloved because it's special and it's one of a kind. The reason for that is it's a double wide ship, and I love this picture because it shows you how wide it is. How many of you have been on a river cruise? Can you raise your hands? Okay, good. So most of you have, and nope. David's going, nope, haven't done it. So that's good. You are in for the trip of a lifetime. The thing about it, though, is you're starting right at the top, David. So we'll see where we go from here. So it's the best. So when you go on a river cruise, it's unlike any other experience because it's like the best analogy I can give you. It's like going on a tour by water in a floating hotel. You only unpack your bag one single time, you float down the river, and in 8 days and 7 nights, you're going to successfully see multiple ports of calls, but you're not going to feel rushed. And it's my word is it's a civilized way to travel. I just wanted to show you this slide to show you that Ama means more than just European river cruising. It is where our owners are from. It is our core product. However, we do have exotic destinations that we've expanded to over the years. So maybe one of these is in your future. Africa, Asia, Colombia, or even Egypt. You can go to the next slide, Suzanne. Maybe, if it goes, right? And there's that beautiful AmaMagna again. And this is actually on the river you're going to be on. You're going to be on the Danube River, but this is the Lower Danube. This is one of the turns in the river you're going to get to go by. It's super scenic. I wanted you to see this so you can get an appreciation for this ship. All the rooms on this ship are balcony-style cabins, all of them, except for the few on the bottom deck where we have a large picture window. On most ships, you just have a small little window, but not on the Magna. There's no small cabin on the ship, just so you know. They started size at 205 square feet, and they run up to 710 square feet. So they are really large in the river cruise world. Because this ship, we call it a double wide, it's double the width of any other river cruise ship out there, but only has 20% more people. There's tons of space on it. So this alone is going to be, it's part of the whole cruise experience, just being on the ship. These are just some of the innovations we've done over the years. The twin balcony designs, the wellness programs. We're very much into the green initiatives. All of our ships have a green award. We're very much into protecting our environment because Christine, Rudy, who are our owners, come from this part of the world. And it's really important.
Pickleball.
And
pickleball,
you can play pickleball, right? On this ship, on the top deck, this is a one and only. This is the one ship that has pickleball. So if anybody likes to play it, try it. I tried pickleball for my very first time on the AmaMagna, and now I would love to start playing it at home, but I just have to be here to do that. So there's just a shot of some of the beautiful staterooms, and the one in the very top left corner is from the AmaMagna. It's 355 square feet. That is most of the staterooms on this ship. The rest of them are a little bit larger as suites or just a tiny bit smaller, but there's no bad cabin. They're all beautiful. I shouldn't even call them cabins. We call them suites because that's what they really are. And then I wanted you to know that when it comes to your shore activities, when you're on the shore, you will have many options for signing up for shore activities. But the truth is we have so many, they are diverse. You can go from just normal, just walking tours to maybe going on a wine tasting tour, or in Serbia, make sure you do the brandy. If you like brandy, go on the brandy tour. It's really awesome. And these are all included in the cost. So there's not going to be any added cost to you. Everything's included. Just choose what you like. You can, before you leave on the trip, after Suzanne gets all your payments in, you'll be able to have access to go ahead and pre-book these shore activities. But if you change your mind once you're on board, it doesn't matter. It's fine. You can change to whatever you like. And when you're on board, you're going to be eating tall, eating well, because we are known for our cuisine on board AmaWaterways. We hold many, many designations and awards, as you can see there. But the fact is that we have a wonderful, diverse menu. We even have a fixed menu. If you want a hamburger one day, you can have one, or even a pizza. But we do pride ourselves in the quality of our food and our wines. And we do offer multiple wine choices. So every day we change the wine out so you can try a different wine on board. And of course, this is a wine related cruise, right? So we're all about the wines. So I know you'll enjoy that. And if you like a cocktail or two, you also can sip and sail with us an hour before every dinner. You're going to be offered complimentary cocktails. There's a sip and sail menu, but it's about 4 pages long. So pretty much it has everything on it. And so you can order your martinis or whatever it is you'd like to have prior to dinner. And again, no charge for that. The wellness program is an enhancement to everything we do. And it's not like we're asking you to go on board and start a new workout program, but it really is a nice way to get to know people and meet people. In the morning, sometimes we even have what's called champagne yoga. And, yoga is about balance. So we try to balance a champagne glass while we're balancing our bodies. It's really fun, and it's a great excuse to get a free glass of champagne at 7:30 a.m. So I recommend it to anybody. I participate in it. And then on the Lower Danube, this is again that shot that I showed you. And this is right, I just want you to know, we're going to talk about the itinerary in a minute, but this is right before you start entering the Iron Gates area, which to me personally, and I know you haven't done this one yet, or Suzanne, you've done this one. To me, yeah, right.
We had a
This is
very,
like
we had
one of my favorite places on the river. The
we had a
Iron
very
Gate.
unique experience here. We were late in Serbia. The customs guys were 3 hours late to check us out. We actually went through the Iron Gates. It was dark, and it was all lit up. It was fabulous.
Wow. See, and I've
beautiful.
only seen it in the day, but you're going to love it in the day. Hopefully this time you get to go through the day and you can look at the difference. You know what's
But
funny is
this
one
church
time I
here was
went.
all lit up. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. Absolutely stunning.
Really? Yeah. See, and that's, I hope, did you take any pictures?
Yes, we got some.
We did, but I think it's better to go through the day. But we were disappointed, but we were actually pleasantly surprised that it was okay. It was okay at night.
Good. That's good to know. I'm glad you said that because it happened to me once as well, where I had to go through the Rhine Gorge at night, and it was at Christmas time. And I never knew this, but all the castles were lit up, like with colored lights, just like we light our houses. I was like, what is going on? Like, this was amazing. So sometimes I always say when there's we're on river time. Things can happen on the river. And if they do, don't ever panic because Ama always has a plan B and a plan C. And whatever it is, I've been on plan B before. It's equally as good, if not even better than plan A. So all good. So this is the itinerary. You can see in this particular case, you're going to start in Hungary, start up in Budapest, and then you're going to make your way through the countries of Croatia, Romania, Serbia, and Bulgaria. And it's just a fabulous itinerary. It's very different than the Upper Danube if you've done it. And so we're going to show you some images of some of the places you're going to stop along the way to give you an idea. And again, there is that beautiful AmaMagna, another shot of it that you can see how large it really is. On board the AmaMagna, there is not just one dining room and a chef's table, which is what Ama is known for. There is a main dining room and a chef's table, but in addition, there's 2 more restaurants. There's the Al Fresco restaurant, which is one of my personal favorites. Yeah, Suzanne's pointing to it with the beautiful glass. The glass windows can actually be opened. In November, we probably won't be opening them, but it's just a beautiful view. And then there's also Jimmy's restaurant, and it's a family style restaurant. We will be bringing pots of food to your table. You'll be eating things and sharing things like you do if you were at Thanksgiving dinner. And Jimmy Murphy, our original owner, he passed away, unfortunately, but he loved family style dining. So this was made in honor of him. So you just sign up for whatever restaurant you want to dine at and just dine your little hearts out. And there's another view of this spacious stateroom, even though I don't really like this picture. It doesn't give you a good perspective of how big it is.
I have more pictures coming up.
It's my favorite stateroom. What did you say?
We have more pictures coming up later.
I have more pictures coming up
Oh,
of
good.
all
Okay, good.
all the
Yeah.
staterooms. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one is 355 square feet, and it's an SA or an SP. Now let's talk a little bit about the destination. So just so you know, when you start going down the river, you're leaving Budapest, which is the best known part of Hungary, but you get to see more of Hungary. You get to see Mohawks and also Pecks. And if you weren't aware of this, the PEX actually was founded more than 2,000 years ago. So it's very, very historic. There's lots of churches and basilicas and even synagogues there. And there's a lot of UNESCO World Heritage sites there as well. But there's also some catacombs that you can go through in one of the cathedrals that's there. And to me, I really was surprised. I didn't realize how much I would enjoy this little town. But in addition to that, if you're a wine connoisseur, which I'm kind of thinking some of you might be, then you might want to also take a tour that takes you out to the wine region. There's a famous wine region in Hungary, but I can never pronounce the name of it. But it's I can't say it. Sorry, David. I can spell it for you, but I can't say it. But it's a beautiful wine region. And I don't know if you know this, but it's the oldest red wine growing region in all of Hungary. And it was established 2,000 years ago. So that might be one of the tours that you choose to go on. And you could even take an exhilarating bike tour here as well. So they're both really nice regions that you're going to enjoy. And then you go to Vukovar. And this particular city is a little bit modern. But it has some very old world things like the palace that you're looking at here. And there you're going to be able to go to the manor house. You're going to see a really famous water tower that's there. And then alternatively, you can also do an active walking tour. You could take a biking tour. So there's going to be a lot of choices for you there when you're in that region. Let me see if there's a wine tour there. I don't remember if there is. Yeah, I don't know that there's a wine tour on that one, but there's a huge area there also with archaeological sites. And Croatia, we only touch on, but this gives you a chance to really get a taste of Croatia, because Croatia is really diversely different, even in all the architecture, than what you saw in Hungary. And then we're going to move on.
I was just going to say, if you have a chance when you're on a shore,
Yep.
and there's a little store where you can buy some wine, pick up a bottle of Croatian wine to bring home. It's good wine.
That's a good idea. And then we go to Belgrade. And in Belgrade, there is so much to see. There's this beautiful, very, very famous fortress called the Kalemegdan Fortress. It looks kind of like a castle because if you look at it, you can see the castle looming overhead. But you've also got these incredible wine cellars and wine rooms to visit. But there's something you might not know what we're going to see in Belgrade as well if you take the regular tour. We actually are going to Nikola Tesla's museum. Has everybody heard of a Tesla?
Yes.
This is where this world-renowned inventor's life and all his inventions are housed in this museum there. So that's kind of exciting. So that's kind of a new addition to what we do when we're there. But I have to tell you, there's another thing you have to do on this day. In the afternoon, they're going to give you an opportunity to go for a brandy tasting. And they do it when I was there. Now, Suzanne, I haven't been there for a few years, so I don't know if they still go to the exact same house, but we literally walked down through what I consider a residential neighborhood. We ended at this house. This house had been converted into a brandy making facility, and we were in their house with this huge brandy making area. And we tasted brandies from the area. And it was one of those memorable experiences you just don't ever forget. And I just felt so privileged that I got to do that. So I would recommend that you guys all sign up for that one because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's what they call it there.
Yeah, it's really, really neat. And then where are we next? Where is this one? I can't see. Serbia. Now we're in Serbia. Yeah, so actually this ends in Serbia because that's where we're going to do it because we've gone on to Serbia. And Serbia also was added to UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage sites. And that's because it really is, when you see Serbia, you're going to see some very historic buildings. The architecture is very different. But what was most vivid to me when I was visiting that area was how clean everything was. And I saw people on the streets in front of their storefronts, everybody sweeping, and they were so proud. And it moved me a lot. I believe this is also the place where I saw a lot of the villages where they had still bullet holes in the buildings from when the insurrection happened, which is only about 30 years ago now, right? It's not that long back in history. So this is a really good time to visit. But you also get a chance, if you'd like, you see the lady cooking there. There is a tour you can take to learn how to make their local pastries. So I might want to suggest that as well, because that's a yummy tour. So that's one of our tasting tours. So what you'll find with Ama is they're going to give you all sorts of varieties. Do you feel like seeing history? Do you feel like making some food and eating? Whatever you want to do, you go for it. You can do it. Yeah, it's kind of neat. They also have a really cool yogurt that they make in that area too. And these are just some local customs. Of course, we're going to be bringing on locals to do entertainment. AmaWaterways is known for the fact that we try to bring immerse you in a culture. So we bring the experience on board through the local entertainment that's coupled with many times the local wines and then a local variety of a food dish. So by the time you've visited these countries, you feel more immersed in them. And then my personal favorite part of this whole trip is this day in the Iron Gates. And that happens to be my boss, Alex, there, and Hannah, one of my colleagues, when they were going through the Iron Gates. And that is a very, very famous part of the Iron Gates. It's actually where the king of Dacia they erected this monument of his head right there. And the Iron Gates forms a natural border between Serbia and Romania, and the Balkan mountains surround it. So for me, I'll just tell you my very first impression when I went through there, and no one had really, I went back in 2013 for the first time, and no one had really ever said, hey, Diane, by the way, this is really pretty. So I do my presentations, and I would never talk that great about the Iron Gates because didn't sound pretty, Iron Gates, but I was blown away. It was like a little fjords of Norway to me. The steep embankments on the side, the narrowness of the river, the turns in the river, it just was very reminiscent to me of what I saw when I was in Norway. So I think you're really going to love this day. And I'm thinking that picture with Alex with the colors in the trees behind there, that might be what you're going to see. And I love that time of year, because with the greens and the golds and the oranges all in one, it just really stands out. And then Bulgaria. So, here, Bulgaria is where we do the yogurt making along with the manitsa. Again, a local dish. This is one of the choices of excursions that you can choose when you're in Bulgaria if you want to do a tasting. Also, though, there is a very famous fortress there. It's the largest preserved medieval castle in all of Bulgaria. I don't know if you have a picture of that one or not, Suzanne, but it's called the Bada Fortress. It's quite famous. You will see it when you're cruising by, no matter what, you'll be seeing it, but you can also go to visit it as well. There's also a biking tour that you're going to have an opportunity to visit, and it bikes right to the Vidin Castle, which is nice. And there's one of the other fortresses that's famous in Bulgaria as well that you'll get to visit along the way. What I found about Bulgaria is that there is a lot of land, it doesn't feel, when you're visiting it, it has more scenic beauty that you're walking around, not so much walking into a big city or a big town feel. You see a lot of these fortresses, these medieval buildings, and these stone walkways and bridges. So it's very, very scenic. You'll love that part. And then you end up going down to Bucharest, Romania. You're actually going to be docking right down off the river there in a place called Gurgiu. I never can say that because you have to twist your mouth up to say it, right? But it is actually our opportunity to visit this place called Vilaco Tarnovo. And I'm sorry, we're looking at Bucharest now. We were on the last slide, but that is
That
the
Veliko
ancient.
Tarnovo.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's the
Yeah.
Bulgaria. That's the ancient
That's
capital of
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
we'll skip ahead back
Okay,
to Bucharest.
back
It's
to
okay.
Romania.
It's all good.
Okay, so that palace that you see in the upper right-hand corner is one of the visits on our stops on our tour. It is unbelievable. That's all I'm going to tell you. Did you go inside, Suzanne?
No, we just went to the parking lot in
Oh,
front of it and took pictures. And I have a picture that
and
I'll share later. Did you go? Does you guys go in
we
it in your
toured it.
extension?
Now, it's
Wow.
if somebody is in town, like some famous politician, it's possible that they don't allow the tours, but we always do visit the interior of it. It is the most decadent thing I have ever seen in my life. There's gold everywhere. You could see, remember, let's go back 3 decades, and the communists were there, and there was a lot of,
Ceausescu.
yeah, and a lot was hoarded into this palace. And when you go in there, you can just see it's just everywhere. There's rooms literally that are walled with just gold. But then when you go up and you do get to visit it, up on that very top level, you get to walk along that beautiful balcony up there and look out at the city. And Bucharest, although it's a very big city, it's amazing. And it's often called the little Paris of the East. And even that, doesn't that arc kind of remind you of the Arc de Triomphe in Paris? So
Triomphe, yeah.
all I know is everywhere you go in this city are these amazing government buildings. It almost reminds you of Vienna. That's what it reminded me of. But yet then there's these very quaint little marketplaces and nooks and crannies, little bars you can go to and little places to eat. And it's fabulous. So you're going to love it. A lot of UNESCO World Heritage is there. So this is a very special opportunity to do an optional land package as well. On this particular trip, there are several options available to you, either at the beginning of the trip or at the end. So, Suzanne, did you go to Transylvania?
We did, and I have a couple pictures of us there.
So you might want to
Quite
share
funny.
about that,
Yeah.
because I haven't been to Bran Castle yet. And look at that's in the fall. Look at the colors. Oh my God, it's
Oh, it
beautiful.
was beautiful. Absolutely
Oh.
beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. So we'll talk about a little bit more about the land packages. The Transylvania, I have some pictures.
We got Pelish there.
This one is
Pelish Castle.
Yeah, we've got the Pelish. This is the Pelish Castle, which was
right,
part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. The rulers of that built that castle, and there's an interior view. And I believe this is Brasov.
Brasov, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful area to visit. And then I haven't been to Turkey. David, you've been to Turkey.
And I've been to Turkey. Yeah.
Okay, Diane, what do you say about Turkey?
Oh my gosh, I loved it and I had no idea. I don't know how you felt, David, but I don't know. I did not expect to love this place like I did. It was fascinating. And every couple hours you hear these prayers going, and they're having prayer like wars between their different synagogue, like I don't guess call it the mosque, the different mosques, right?
And the colors at Istanbul are beyond. I mean, I just couldn't get over your bottom picture there on the bottom right. The
that's the Central Market.
Yeah, and the rug. There was so much about Istanbul that was just to die for. Well worth that part if you've never been.
Yeah,
and
it is.
And I haven't been to Istanbul, but I went to Turkey on a ocean cruise, and we went to this little town that was near Ephesus, and the course the brochures all say
Kusadasi.
What was it called?
Kusadasi.
Yeah.
Kusadasi,
and we actually got there a day early because we couldn't get in Santorini. It was like, I don't know, it's Turkey. I Googled, is it safe to walk around? And I actually found Turkish hospitality to be some of the best that I've ever experienced. We went to a restaurant, everything they served, the food, they served wine. You know, you wouldn't think that you would get wine in a predominantly Muslim country, but I guess they're a different kind of Muslim. I don't know.
Istanbul was the very first time I ever, I've been around the world. Istanbul was the first time I ever had to use a squatty potty. I know that's more than you want to know, but I learned what that meant.
But you know
Very
what? At the
funny.
end of the day, it's all those experiences you don't forget, right? And that
Exactly.
picture you have of that Central Market, I cherish the things I bought in there, just like a little piece of jewelry or whatever. Because me too, David, the colors were just vivid
They were
and just
spectacular.
and the sounds, and it's just a fascinating place. And I agree, I felt very safe there. I felt
Me
the
too.
people were very hospitable, and I felt very much comfortable, and I really, really did enjoy it. So that is a good choice. And then, of course, Vienna, you can do at the beginning, and who doesn't love Vienna? There's nothing bad about Vienna. Everything is beautiful. It's just
Soccer
one
tour.
beautiful space after another, right?
We're going on the pre to Vienna, so we're good.
Yeah. It's amazing, and you have to eat in the local cafes and have the local custards, and oh, it's just amazing place. So,
All right.
so
Well,
that's,
thank you.
you're
Thank you,
welcome.
Diane. Yeah, that I hope everybody enjoyed Diane's presentation. Now, Steve and I are going to take over for just a minute
Couple
and
of
talk
slides.
about why, just a couple slides, why we love Waterways so much.
And this
So,
itinerary, yeah.
and this itinerary too, yes.
Yes.
So, CruiseOne and Dream Vacations, we have had a very strong partnership with AmaWaterways since they since their inception. Our chief operating officer, Debbie Fiorino, is the godmother of the Ama Sienna. So that's very exciting. I mean, that's a very special honor. It's usually given to a woman who has outstanding public service or
Yep.
outstanding in her field. And I have to say, our chief operating officer, Debbie Fiorino, is probably both. But we had a godmother cruise with Debbie.
Just
And
last
then we
month, yeah.
also, yeah, just last month. And there's Kristen Kars. She is the
Christine, yeah.
Christine. She is one of the co-founders of AmaWaterways, and she actually sailed with us, and we had lunch with her a couple times. And here's the thing about Ama is you really Ama means love. You really feel the love, and I'll talk about that for a little bit. So I have a couple of slides of the food. So gourmet dining, these are my own pictures that I took just last
Wow,
month.
good job.
Beautiful food, beautiful. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
An Android phone does wonders for, for photography. And then
Wow.
a couple other meals that we had. And such a wide variety of food. You can see this is like a pad thai dish. This is a pork roast. This is a beef dish. You know, all kinds of wonderful food from around the world, as well as some regional dishes. And then the
And unlike some
wonderful
of the
thing about
other river cruise lines, Ama's got a seated lunch with a la carte ordered. They bring it to you. It's not a buffet. It's actually a seated lunch. They do have a tapas area if you want to just go do something quick and easy, but it's really kind of nice to be waited on, I guess. With
Yeah,
good
and
food.
I'm going to go back to one of my slides. They actually bring the appetizers out to your table when you're seated, and you can always request more, but this is without even ordering. You get these wonderful appetizers here that you can choose from and have for a little snack while you're waiting for your full service lunch to arrive. They also have a chef's table. This is just last month
Restaurant.
at the chef's
Yeah.
table at the restaurant. You can see all the beautiful Christmas decorations. They do a wonderful job for the holidays. And this is my slide. You can really feel the love. On this cruise, we had a lot of bumps along the road because the Rhine River was too high to sail down, and they had to shift to plan B and then plan C, and they took such wonderful care of us, and the crew was amazing. And then there's a picture of our wonderful Debbie with Santa Claus. Everybody got a gift from Santa Claus. It was such a generous and loving experience. I even had a dance with the captain one night, so it was
Oh,
quite a beautiful
really
experience.
nice.
Yeah, I danced with him, so it was very nice.
Oh,
Um, so I want to give you guys a little bit of insight to the gems of Southeast Europe. Steve and I have been to this area. Um, yeah, I guess we went in 22,
22.
the
Yep, October
22.
22.
So there we are with that Gulabak Fortress, which is a fabulous site,
yep.
wonderful site along the river. You get to tour the whole thing. But we'll start with Budapest. Okay, if you
Budapest, yep.
like food, if you like wine, if you like culture, if you like history, you can find it all in Budapest. There is multiple museums, art museums, history museums. They even have a museum of terror that documents the Nazis and the communists and what they did to people. I mean, they are really really big on their history and their culture, and it is and food. I mean, these are all the different paprika products, and I think these are brandies or rakia. What's that crazy
Yeah, yeah,
thing?
brandy. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's drain cleaner that you actually drink. It's something like that. But there is the St. Stephen's Cathedral in downtown Budapest. Absolutely beautiful church. Um, my mom and my stepdad went and attended mass here. They didn't have to pay anything. They went to mass. It was all in Hungarian. They loved it. The next day, I went down and I said, "Well, I need to go tour the church." It was 250 euros, the little donation, and it just the artwork inside was absolutely amazing. So beautiful things that you can see in Budapest, and the food. And here's the thing: it's because nobody can understand or speak Hungarian. All Hungarians understand and speak English. So it's very easy for Americans to get around in Budapest because obviously English has become the default universal language. And so if Germans come to Budapest, they're going to speak English, and the Hungarians are going to speak English, and they'll be able to communicate with each other. It's a beautiful thing. So this is a slide. This is in Belgrade, Serbia. This is the beautiful Orthodox church. And you think, how old is this thing? When was it built? It was built in the late 20th century. It really is a monument to the defeat of communism because they had tried to build this church in the early 20th century, and the communists wouldn't permit them, and they didn't have it happen. And when they overthrew communism, they were able to build this church, and they had artisans from all around the world to create these beautiful mosaics. It's one of the most beautiful churches I've ever been in. It's absolutely gorgeous. And here's that fortress, the Gulabak
Yeah.
Fortress. We had some pictures. How do you say it?
That's
Golombek.
from,
Yeah, you're right.
Gulabak.
Golombek.
Gulabak. Yeah, I
yeah.
want to put. So very interesting. The interesting history of this fortress is it was never defeated by siege. It was only turned over via treaty. It was that well fortified that it was never conquered by siege. There's Veliko Tarnova,
Yeah.
and the most amazing part about this site is the story of the young man that was a peasant, and he was whipped, and then he came back to the town and he led a peasant revolt, and they overthrew it, and he was the king. Like within 6 months he went from being a peasant to a king, and you can visit the fortress where all that happened. Is absolutely amazing. um so Transylvania, I joke about this is what we expected. Dracula, vampires. We were at the Brom Castle, and for some reason there was some character dressed up as Vlad the Impaler. He
Part
photobombed
of our
us.
excursion there, we actually had dinner in the castle.
Yeah, we had dinner by the castle. Anyway, that is what we expected from Transylvania. But my next slide, it was so much more. Brasov is this beautiful Austro-Hungarian Empire imperial city with these amazing buildings and uh, pedestrian areas and courtyards. It was absolutely gorgeous. And then we went up to visit the Palace Castle that you see here. It was in some of Diane's slides, but this is just a wood carving that's in that castle. The art and the history in that part of the world is absolutely stunning. Okay, and here's Bucharest. There we are. So apparently, this place that Diane showed in her thing, this is the largest government building in the world, and that was
Yeah.
what was his name,
Ceausescu.
Steve?
Ceausescu.
Ceausescu. He wanted to show that he was all big and all powerful, and it's kind of interesting because a lot of the Romanians are like they like it, and there's other Romanians that don't like it because of what it took to reorganize the city.
That's
But he
right.
wanted to make it look like Paris, and you know that in the I was like late 17th century or maybe early 18th century, Paris was completely demolished and rebuilt to make it like a unified architectural style. So I think that's what Ceausescu wanted to do. But Food. Who ordered the mixed grill? Was it you, Steve, or was it Tom?
It was me. It was me.
It was, yeah, that's the mixed grill.
The
Looks
meat
pretty
eater.
awesome. It was, the food there is beautiful. So now we're going to talk a little bit about what a celebration of wine cruise is, because this is what makes this cruise different from other cruises that are the same itinerary, maybe at different times of the year. So with the celebration of wine cruise, you have premier vineyard and cellar tours. And they also try to make sure that you're having just encounters that are going to connect you with the winemakers. Uh, you're going to understand the history of this area. So many of these areas of Europe, the wineries have been there since the Roman times. So it's absolutely amazing to see the history of the wine growing in that area. And then food and wine pairing, which of course is David's kind of forte. It's a unique art where you're gonna try foods and wines together and have that total sensory experience.
So we'll get to
So
sample a lot of local wines.
you get to sample local wines. And then this is the best thing is that David is going to bring the wines from Los Milics, and he's going to do 2 lectures aboard featuring those wines. We'll have one special sip and sail happy hour featuring those wines, and then one featured wine and food pairing dinner, and there'll be a collaboration between David and the staff on board. So we might feature some local wines and some of Los Milics wines. It'll be something that they collaborate to create. It'll be unique completely to our cruise experience. And then, of course, you get the wine tasting ashore at many of the tours that are involved. So here's David in all his glory at Los Milics. He will be hosting as a North American wine host, and he will actually be shipping his wine, or Ama will be buying his wine and shipping it to ship, and we'll have the experience of the wine tasting with the wines from Los Milics. So it's going to be an absolutely fabulous experience. So now I'm going to turn it over to David, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the winery. And I have to tell you, this is very close to my heart because Steve and I lived in this area, Sonoyta, Elgin,
14 years.
for 14 years. And one of the reasons we moved there was because of all the wine culture that was there. So, David, take it away.
Hello, everybody. So you're looking at our tasting room. The mountain to the left of that picture is called the Biscuit. For those who have never been there, I know there's 2 on the call that have been there. And what we are is and I'm going to go backwards for a second before I even talk about the winery. So when we got approached to have this conversation, and Steve, we've been talking, Suzanne, 6 months now about
5,
this?
6 months, yep.
5, 6 months. And so we went back and forth. We are a small boutique winery. How I went to the whole group, there's about 6 of us that are involved in all the aspects of the winery and the tasting room, is how we picked Ama was, so I'll be upfront, I'm a snob. Jackie will attest to that. And so we picked Ama because of the small, what I'm going to call boutique side of it. When we started picking itineraries, I wanted us to be who we are, right? We're not a winery for everybody in the world. We are very small. We're European in when we make up of our wines, the grapes we grow. And so it was very important as a vintner to want to go on a cruise, if we're going to do this, with somebody that's long-term. And so how we got to Ama was they would carry our wine on the trip. When Suzanne just described the few things that we're going to participate in, those were the things that were important to us as a winery. So I just wanted to kind of that's how we got to this point. Again, 5, 6 months working on it to even get to this level. Again, because we're not for everybody, and we are that boutique little winery in Sonoyta. We're actually in Elgin, Arizona, if you know where that is. And so, and Suzanne, if you ever want to change the slides, you just do whatever you want to do.
Let's change it. Yeah, we'll go to the varietals.
So these are the varietals that we own. What we did is we're going on 6 years right now. we've only been open, the tasting room was open about year October, I think, year November, just recently, a little over a year. And so what we do is we go grow all of these grapes. We actually bought and own all of these little vineyards down in Sonoyta, Elgin. We don't buy any grapes, we grow them all ourselves. And so that's a very big deal as a vintner. I do not make the wine, but you're seeing some of all the different things we carry currently. Last year, or 2023, we had our largest harvest ever, which is how we ended up getting to 2025 for this cruise. We will have more wine than we've ever produced. We had the best harvest we've ever had. It is something I experienced for the first time in my life a few months ago during Crush, which was just, I have photos of myself doing things I never knew I could do. So this is our tasting room. To give you a little 30-second background, I've been in the food and booze industry for almost 35, going on 40 years. And I retired and got convinced to come back to work. I've been retired now for about 5 years. Last October, November, sitting, you don't see it, but see where it says tasting room on that photo? That is where I was sitting at the point when I was kind of approached to say, hey, do you want to come and do this with us? So that's how I got involved in Los Milics. Is I'm fascinated by that part of the world. I am a city boy. I'm from New York City originally. I've been in Arizona since 1978. My background, again, is food and booze for a long time. I've been on TV. I've written for magazines. I've owned a special event and catering company for a long time before my retirement. So food and booze is very important. But one of the things, again, that I wrote some notes as you guys were talking earlier, is we believe in our chef. We're getting ready to open our first. We're going to be the first. I think I could be right on this. I'm hoping, Jackie, if I'm wrong, you could say I'm wrong. We are the first winery. We're building 9 casitas that are going to be open in March and April of this year. We're actually having 9 casitas that'll be on our property in the vineyard, and we're going to be open for not just our tastings, but we're also going to be open for dinner now. So one of the things that, again, attracted me to Ama was the family style, the boutique side. We customize every single thing we do for every daily guest, because they're not customers to us, they're guests. Again, there's 2 people on the call that know me well. When I'm there, we actually try to have a good time. And we smile and laugh. And again, we're knowledgeable about wine. So again, that's what led me to Ama, for us saying yes, that we wanted to do this, and that they would carry our wine on the boat. So I'm very excited about it. This is a big step for me. I'm not a cruise lover up front, so I'm hoping this turns the boat and makes
It will.
It will. I have a feeling it's going to.
I have no doubts.
And that's
Yeah, well,
exactly,
David,
yeah.
look how beautiful that boat is.
I
It's
know. I'm already
absolutely
picturing myself
stunning.
there.
I'm gonna get you out. You and I are gonna play pickleball.
I'll start learning right now.
Suzanne and I will be
That's
down at the
right.
winery on Friday. We'll get a chance to check it out ourselves.
Yeah.
And so everybody,
check out
actually,
our
we,
Facebook page. We're
right,
gonna have some
actually,
pictures from the
so
winery.
I'm meeting Steve and Suzanne on Friday.
Nice.
I live in Scottsdale, everybody, just so you know. I don't live down there in Elgin, Sonoyta, but I will be there on Friday. I'm scheduled once a month, but I'm usually down there more. It's almost a 3-hour drive from Scottsdale, but I will be there for 2 meetings on Friday. Looking forward to meeting you guys after we've talked on the phone for 6 months and numerous Zoom calls.
Zoom.
You know, we're very excited as a winery. Our whole team is excited for the fact that we're doing something different that we've not done in the past, and that we are, and Steve and Suzanne, you could correct me if I'm wrong, so it's okay. I admit when I'm wrong. I don't think any of the other wineries down in that part of the Arizona have been on a cruise.
So we actually have partnered with one of the other wineries.
You are correct. I apologize. You told me that.
Yes, we've done. So this is our history, but that particular winery, they're traveled out. They're like,
We've only done
we
ocean.
just
We did
want to.
six
We did
ocean
ocean,
wine
6 ocean
cruises.
cruises with them.
And we are,
And
and we're more of the water, we're this kind of barge trip kind of feel. We're probably never going to be a big cruise, we're just, because again, if it's me, I like the size of this since I'm the one who's going on it. I don't do well with thousands of people. I do good with a couple hundred.
yes,
Perfect.
understand.
Then
Well,
you're on the
while
right
we're looking
brand.
at it, yes. So let's look at it. We have this beautiful ship. Diane, can you confirm? I believe it's 198 passengers. Am I
Yeah, 196 passengers.
96?
And
Okay.
our other ships that are half the size hold 162. So when you look at that point of comparison, that's pretty astounding.
Yeah. Yeah. This is going to be the most spacious ship for sure.
This is the largest suite we have. There's only one of them. It's called the owner's suite, obviously. And it is quite a beauty. At Christmas, they even have a Christmas tree in it. That's how big it
Wow.
is. And you have to put it in perspective. We're dealing in a small world of river cruise ships that cruise up rivers, not in these large, like you said, David. I personally, I don't do too well on really large ships either. But this is my world. I like this. It's like a small hotel that's cruising down the river.
It's a boutique hotel on the water.
It's a boutique,
Exactly.
yeah, and it's very civilized, and there's never lines. You don't wait on lines to go on tenders. None of that happens. You just literally, you're there. You're in the destination immersed, and you can do as much or as little as you want. And I encourage people. I know we have a lot of tours. If you want a day off, take it. Just stay on the ship, read a book, do what you have a glass of wine, do whatever you want. You can do that on a river cruise.
Maybe you can. How many? So that we know there's one of those owner suites. How
There's
many
6
grand
grand
suites are on?
Six.
Yeah, there's six of the grands.
suites.
Those are 474 square feet, and they are gorgeous.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is my favorite cabin on any river cruise ship. I love all the suites, of course, but this veranda suite, these SAs and SBs, they're amazing. They're just like the design of them is perfect.
The value for what you get is amazing. And
the AA is the same
standard cabin.
And I'll just jump in for a second, just so anybody that knows me, Jackie, you're one. I'll be in one of the suites. We will be hosting, I'm sure, 1 or 2 cocktail parties, so don't worry. Just letting you know that food and booze again is my life. When I met, I'm going to say the name right, Brian. Is that right? Is that?
For what are we talking?
From you guys, from Ama.
Robert Schmidt.
Robert. Sorry, Robert.
Schmidt,
Sorry,
yeah.
I knew I said the wrong name, Robert.
That's okay.
Yeah, and it's funny when I, again, being retired, I had to write a little blurb about myself. Well, I didn't have it. I had our marketing department write it. And when I realized that is really who I am, this, I know that's embarrassing. I can't believe it just said that. This fits right with our personality of who Lost Milics also is, right? Why we're doing what we do. And it fits right into our marketing and all of the things we are, because we are a boutique winery. We're not for everybody. We're different. So
that's how Ama feels. So you picked a good match. We're a family business. We're run by a family. We're still a family business after 22 years. And that's what we care about, that people just come on board and they feel at home. And you can go get your cup of coffee when you want one in the morning. It's right there for you. And you just make yourself feel very comfortable. So
well, I just wanted to point out back to the veranda suites that this is a 252 square foot stateroom. Yeah. Many cruise lines, their largest cabin is 200 square feet. So
this is a gorgeous cabin.
And then for people who are a little bit more on a budget, 205 square feet for a lower level cabin
with those 2 picture windows. I mean, it's a beautiful cabin. It's gorgeous.
It's beautiful. Yeah. So we're going to talk about the promotion and the pricing, because this is important, because people like, how much does it cost? So this pricing is our standard pricing. If you book by March 31st, you either get $1,000 per person off this pricing. This is the per person pricing, or you can choose one of the optional land extensions for free. So if you wanted to do that extension in Romania, you could do that for free, or you could get the $1,000 off. I mean, it's a pretty exciting deal. Very good. So this is that outside balcony cabin. This is the balcony suite, and this is those 2 large suites up there. So you get $1,000 off that or one of those free extensions. So here we go. We have the 2-night pre-extension. So you can kind of see that maybe you'd want to pay for the pre-extension and get the $1,000 off. But if you do the Brasov, it's a better deal to take the extension. Or if you want to go to, did we post that twice? We didn't get the
That
pricing
should be
for the
Istanbul.
Istanbul. It should be the Istanbul pricing down there. And call me, we'll get it fixed. It was just a
It's on the
cut and
landing page
pasting
that we-
error. Yeah, we have it on our landing page. So keeping going. So we're going to go to Q&A. This is our last slide. I'm going to stop sharing. So now everybody's going to be back in the Brady Bunch thing. So
Yeah.
if you have
We've
any
been there the whole time.
questions or comments, we want to do that. I know, Diane, I
You'll have,
promised.
yeah,
I would
everybody's
get-
muted. So if you want to ask a question or speak up, you'll have to unmute yourself. On a
So
computer,
go
it'd be
ahead
the
and
space
ask,
bar
and
or
if you could just
whatever.
raise your hand and I'll call on you so not everybody's talking at once. If you unmute and raise your hand. Tom, you're still on mute though.
Tom, you're not
Can we-
allowed to ask questions. I'm sorry, you're cut off.
Can we unmute him, Steve?
He's done. He's good. No, I can't, but he's good.
He's good. Okay, you're
Okay.
off of mute. Go ahead.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I don't know how many other people have been on AMA, and Marla and I went some years ago. And for we went on a excursion. You have an AMA guide for the pre and the post and for the tour itself, correct?
Right.
Yes.
What we do is the cruise manager is also the land manager. So if I'm the cruise manager, I never leave you from beginning.
Correct.
So it's a seamless experience, and that we're the only ones that do that to make it just so you get to know me and we're together from beginning to end. So
Correct. And for those who have not been on AMA, we had some special things we were looking for on our other one, and they were able to make arrangements or get us in the right direction with concierge and different things to find out where things were and get us to where we're going. So that was really nice.
thank you.
For those who are interested in pickleball, I'm sure for a fee, Kevin would probably give private lessons. And right now, I think that's about what I have. Once I keep flipping the pages, I'll find out what the others are. But for David, I will tell you, we've done both cruising and river cruises, and this itinerary and this company, you are going to love it. Just absolutely love it.
And Tom, you could tell everyone how fun I am too. It's okay. I won't hold that against you.
I'm the fun one. David is just, he has a lot of hot air. He's fine. No, it's great. Everybody
Thank
at
you
Los
very
Milics is
much.
great. Everybody
We're
at
glad
Los
that you
Milics is
enjoyed
great.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any other specific questions you have for me and Steve or Diane while she's here? I promised Diane I would
Dave.
get her off because what time is it there? 10 p.m.?
Yeah,
Nine.
and I have a 8 a.m. flight, so
Okay.
I haven't
So-
packed yet, so I do kind of have to go in a moment here.
Okay,
But,
in a moment.
Yeah,
but
if
anybody
you
has a
think of
quick
questions
question-
after the fact, you can obviously always call. You know that, Suzanne. We know Suzanne and Steve, they're just great partners of ours at AMA. And for working with somebody who really knows her stuff and gets to know it personally, it makes all the difference in the world. And we really value our partnerships with travel advisors like Suzanne. So thank you. And thanks for your
Thank you.
support. And thank you, Tom, for those
Thank
kind
you.
words. And I'm glad you loved our company. I love our company. It's very special. There aren't many companies like it in the world. You know, when Rudy started our company 21 years ago, he decided also that he would pay for every ship as he built it. So we have no debt. So that is pretty extraordinary. It's a very unusual way to do business in the world today. but he's very conservative. He's from Austria. That's what he does. And for us as employees of this wonderful company, we always have felt so comfortable and confident. And it's a company I know when I tell you something, that's what's going to happen. And if anything doesn't go exactly as planned, they have so many plan Bs and Cs in place that they're just always wonderful alternatives. So,
And
I
all the
can
things,
agree.
all the things, Diane, you just said is why we're also here, is because
Yeah.
we are owned. We have no debt. We believe
Nice.
in what we're doing. Again, Tom and Jackie have seen us in action.
Yeah.
Are growing. We just extended our patio,
Nice.
and our casitas, and all those little reasons. Again, is
Yeah.
what we picked as a partner for our first cruise ever as
Yeah.
a winery. How we picked Ama. So I just
Yeah, well,
it's
thank
important.
you. Thank you. And it's important and it's nice we're aligned and we have the same thinking and it makes a difference. And it's not just about, for us, the most important thing is if you go on a cruise and you come home and you say one of two words, you either say, I felt at home, or I felt I'm part of their family. And of course, Suzanne's doing the love.
Trying to do it.
Those
I'm not
are
good
our
at it with
words
the
that
love.
define
Yeah.
our company. And it may sound hokey, but it's true. It's really, we're always like that. We're just one big family at AMA. So
Yeah.
anything we can do to make your experience the best we possibly can, that's what they're for. And I do hope you all decide to go because as Suzanne said, and I forgot, maybe Steve, you said it, this is just a beautiful cruise. This is a really nice itinerary and a beautiful part of the river. And
And
you'll
you'll
really,
get to play with
with the
me for a
wine
week.
aspect with you, David, it's gonna be off the scale. So
Well, I
I'm
was
gonna
just
have to
gonna
come to
say,
Arizona and go to your winery.
You will.
well, hey, we'll go with you,
I'm
Diane.
gonna
But
log
I was
off right now because
okay,
and you can
Diane.
keep talking,
You
All right,
but
can,
thanks,
I'm gonna
Dan.
have to
yes.
go.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, you
Get some
guys.
sleep and get your early flight.
Do
She's
we have
got
any
to go
other
to
Thank you
questions
so
from
much,
anybody?
everybody.
I would just like to say that I'm a very big proponent of the Sonoita wineries. And for about the last 15, 20 years, and there are several that are superior wineries. And for just a starting, hasn't been there that long, Los Milics is at the top of the list with about 3 or 4 others. And really, this is going to be a fabulous time.
Well,
amazing.
do I owe you $1 now, or do I have to give it to you on Friday?
No, you owe me
Well-
more than that to get this all started.
Oh, darn it. I hate that.
I was just
Now you're
gonna
being
say
like
that
Jackie, because Jackie makes me pay all the time.
Are you going to be down there Friday?
I will be, yeah.
Okay. Marla and I are going to
So-
be there.
Okay, so Steve, you want to stop recording because I just wanted to say one last thing to kind of sum it up. We were on the Godmother cruise in December, and one of the things that impressed me so much was that the founder and co-president of the company was on the ship, and the whole crew felt relaxed and at home. And it's really a top-down thing that the top-down management are really about having that boutique atmosphere, having their employees be happy, having their guests be happy. And it was a really wonderful thing that they presented to us. So I thank you all for coming. We're going to stop the recording now.